myself to slow down, tell myself I don't need this, but my body doesn't listen when I'm this close to you. My hands shake when I move, my breath comes out wrong, and I hate how bad I want it, but I don't stop. I drop down before I think, like instinct knows better than pride. I don't feel powerful right now, I just feel alive. I'm not calm, I'm not steady, I'm hungry in a way that scares me. I don't wanna look at you, I just want my mouth right there. This isn't confidence, this is craving, this is me losing myself and letting it happen on purpose, because it feels too good not to, because my body keeps asking for more. I don't slow down, I don't think it through, I just keep going, because I need it. I like the way my thoughts disappear, the way my rhythm digs forward. I pushing closer when it gets intense, like I'm chasing something I can't name. My mouth stays busy, my mind goes blank, and I forget who I said I was. I'm not doing this to be admired, I'm doing this because I want it too much. I'm not trying to be good, I'm not trying to be bold, I just want the heat, that pressure, that feeling taking control. This isn't confidence, this is me, this is my body setting the speed. I move how it wants, when it wants to, because stopping feels worse than giving in. I don't look up, I don't pull back, I stay right here and let myself want it. I like the taste, gotta like it too much. I like the way my mouth stays busy when my thoughts fall apart. I don't pace myself, I don't play smart, I let the moment use me back. I keep pushing forward because I don't know how not to. This is my weakness, showing my hunger out in the open. I'm not in control, I'm not pretending, I'm just doing what my body's begging. I don't stop when it gets messy, I don't stop when it gets intense. I stay right here, mouth open, want it, want it, want it.
Because I have a VPN and the settings to change my MAC address every time it connects to the internet. So I'll just restart my phone and go back onto YouTube. I don't want to be tracked.
Well, I mean, you're literally
I'll send
telling
you-
me how long it's been since you've been on YouTube. That's how
I'm
much
on
I
YouTube
get on.
every day, my friend.
Like they don't send out notifications like
Yes,
that
they do.
anymore.
Yes, they do. I'll take a screenshot next time they do it.
That's horrible. You need to update your Google. Your
No.
Google Chrome, dude.
So I won't. The reason why I do it like that, I use an app called Iggy Block. It's a YouTube client that stops ads, stops commercials.
Yeah.
So that's the only way that I watch from my Android, anyways. That's the only way I watch YouTube. But
Yeah.
they'll still try to get onto me, like, "Oh, you need to sign in." No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
The
Especially
app itself will remember what I watched, what I it'll make its own suggestion. It's a helper for the user and not the company.
There's a YouTube channel for you to listen to when you go to bed. Some good Buddhism talks by Tanisaro Bhikkhu. I think you'll like his voice.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Well, I used to do a lot of my research like that because I'm a lucid. I'm a lucid dreamer. I can control my
Really?
and I'm able to hear things while I'm sleeping. So I used to do a lot of my research that way. I would just because I'm listening to what I'm hearing while I'm sleeping. I can do that. It's a weird thing, but I'm able to do that.
I don't lucidly dream a lot, but when I do, one thing I've noticed is I can read when I'm lucid dreaming.
That
Mhm.
is the most
That's
awesome
not
thing in
too
the world, isn't it?
I do
Very
it
weird. Usually, what I bring back doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I've had a few insights too.
I've actually done it to where I leave the TV on and I'll go to sleep. And in my dream, whatever's playing on the TV will come into my dream.
That's how I grew up. I grew up in front of the TV. I used to fall asleep in front of the TV. That's exactly what happens to me in front of the TV. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lucid.
And it's awesome too because I mean everybody fantasizes about, well, what if I were in that movie? People like Roger and I, we literally get to be in that movie.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
the only
You're your own producer and your own director.
the only bad part
Yeah.
about that is like family members. Like when you're laying down and then you got a family member that comes in and they freaking start busting open freaking food and having long conversations across from you and
Like with Within used to do.
Yeah.
Were you ever in a meeting within the vacuum when wonderful man? Hi, Within. I hope you're doing well. Haven't talked to him in a while, but he started doing this ice cream business in his aunt's restaurant. So
yeah.
we'd be like having a talk with him, and all of a sudden, people would yell at him from the kitchen to do something, or you'd
Yeah.
hear like tables being cleared and things, and it was like a little disconcerting.
Freaking, like you're sitting there sleeping and all of a sudden somebody's yelling across the room and shit. And you're like, oh man. And it's like 5 o'clock in the morning and you're like, I really don't want to get up at 5 o'clock.
You went to bed at 3:30, so
Yeah, that's the way it works with me too. Like,
well, we talk to people in all these weird time zones.
well,
Hardly.
this is
he's got Greenwich Mean Time. That's the ultimate.
this is actually England. England is the easy part. I've gotten that down pat. But
Oh yeah. Roger, did you see that yesterday's Elements? Roger's handout, my conversation with Mr. Robot,
oh god,
I saw that.
in relation to Australian daylight times. That got confusing.
something weird happened yesterday because Mr. Robot even went on to freaking Imaginarium, and that's he usually doesn't talk very much on there, and he even went on there and
Right.
posted something. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like he's actually getting
I saw that. That was a live stream, though. That would have been for yesterday for us. I
Mhm.
think they had their New Year's Eve.
I was really amazed he did that. He usually doesn't go out of his comfort zone too much. That's a big deal. Maybe we can get him to come in and hang out with us because I think that. Well, I don't know if
I doubt if you're going to see him today, like I said earlier.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah, let's just say he's seemed to have had a extremely fun.
Oh my!
You would have fun with him, Otto, because he talks about DMT, but at the same time he's into Atlantis and stuff. So you'd be kind of like mixed on the whole. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like a diversity kind of thing. You'd be like having some serious conversations
Well, hopefully we'll get him on here sometime soon.
because he'll start telling you about remote viewers and shit. Him and V, I actually had Mr. Robot.
I would love to talk about that because I've been offered DMT like so many times in my life. I've never done it. But I am aware of the effect and what it does.
Mhm.
I am a shaman. I'm from a shaman bloodline. I know I'm supposed to do every drug that comes across me, but I just don't have time. I have to work too much. But anyways, I would like to have that conversation. The whole idea of Atlantis, that's something that should be discussed more often, and it should be presented. And I know geologists are the most boring people on the planet. Nobody likes talking to geologists, but they need to be pulled into more and more conversations about this, because I don't know of any famous geologists. We have all these people who are called quacks at the end of the day, but we don't have any famous geologists making any claims outside of what seems to be a government-approved information and narrative. So, yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt there.
Oh,
Go
that's
ahead.
fine. I keep forgetting his name, and I mess it up too. But Carlson. I'll Google it here in a second. But he runs around with Graham Hancock all the time, and he's a geologist. Now he's a really good person to pay attention to. I'm gonna drop the window capture so I can Google this, and then I'll get the name for you. But he is a really good person if you want to check him out, and he's legitimate. I'm not a Graham Hancock fan, but I do know he is he's pretty good. Geologist Carl. See, this is why it's important to have
You ever a guy named Michael Cremo? Cremo?
Michael Grima. No, I haven't heard of him.
He's pretty good. He wrote a book called Forbidden Archaeology. And, full disclosure, he's a Hindu. But his thesis is that the fossil record really bears out more of a Hindu idea of time than, our more Western idea of time and deep time. It's a very interesting book, but one of the things he points out is that once you've got the paradigm in place of a certain development of humans, and all the data that they discover tends to be within that paradigm. So he pointed out that Java Man, the whole idea of Java Man was based on part of a skull they found one place, and then several dozen yards away they found a jawbone. And they said, well, this must be the same animal, because obviously this fits in with our idea of what kind of animal should be here. And other evidence is dismissed or ignored simply because it doesn't fit into the paradigm. And I can understand that, because when you've got a model, you're trying to build a model, right? And you're just going to use the pieces that fit the model and see what you've got. But it's very interesting to look at these other pieces that are left out. They're very suggestive. That's a word I really like to use a lot. I don't know that anything is actually proven, but Cremo, he's got a website. I think it's mcremo.org or .com or something. Michael Cremo. Yeah, interesting guy.
Now, Randall Carlson was the guy I was talking about. I don't know if you guys have heard of him or not, but
name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
He's a really. I mean, he's very thorough about it, and he'll kind of talk about it a little bit, on the fringe side, but he's all about the science, and he gets into the the early Dryas period, I believe is what it is. He has a theory that the Ice Age ended, or it ended a lot quicker than what people think that it did. You know what I mean?
All right.
And that the water levels on Earth went up so fast that freaking a lot of civilizations did disappear because they were taken by the water rising.
This is a slow unraveling, a promise spoken without sound. I am fertile with want alone, blooming just from pure and found. Apollo, if this is purity, why does it feel like this? Take me north, past reason and name, where desire and worship are the same. With hyperborea, under endless sun, I come undone before we've begun. No touch, all heat, eternal want. When he leaves with the turning ear, the craving stays. So does the light.
And he, like, Lake Michigan.
Right?
He believes Lake Michigan is a place where it was either an asteroid or a comet.
And you know what? How the lakes are positioned in the way they are, to me, it would kind of seem like if it were a meteor event, it seemed like it would have broken up in the atmosphere or broke up before, and that's why because this is a continent, Mexico, United States, Canada. It's a solid continent. To have that peppered, like almost in the center of it, does seem kind of weird.
Well, there's a lot of data out there that talk about very rapid changes around what they usually call the Ice Age. And I know there are a lot of geologic formations that they put down to glacial action that could be explained by more catastrophic kind of events. So this is something that has come up in geology from time to time.
Yeah.
And also, you mentioned, the floods. There was this archaeologist that was, how they try to say Egypt is only like so many thousands of years old, like 4,000-5,000 years old. They try to downplay how old Egypt is. The water markings, there are water markings, and this geologist pointed this out, that there are water markings on this thing that would suggest that the Sphinx is older than 26,000 years old.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the erosion effects. Yeah.
The erosion. So
Are you talking about the civilization of Egypt, or are you talking about just small groups of people?
That can be extrapolated from the previous information. If the Sphinx is there and it's got 26,000 year old water lines on it, then who built the Sphinx?
Well, the Sphinx is interesting, but one of the things about the ancient Egyptians was they recycled monuments a lot. And I don't think it'd be surprising that they wouldn't necessarily have to have an overly high civilization. I mean, the Sphinx, as I understand it, is a big outcrop of limestone that at one time somebody carved into the figure of a crouching lion.
Right.
And that would make a lot of sense with the astrological idea of the age of Leo. The solstices were happening around that time. And that could very well be many thousands of years old. But at the same time, it wouldn't, you don't need laser beams and nuclear power to do that. And then when the Egyptians came along, I mean, if you look at the Sphinx, the head on the Sphinx now is much too small, much too small. It probably was carved down, I believe, from what was originally a possibly crude to us looking lion's head. So I don't think there's anything weird with the idea that it's a 20,000-year-old monument. It could very well be, it seems to me. It makes a lot of sense.
Don't forget the French took a cannon and blew off the nose because it had a black nose.
Oh yeah, but it was it definitely looked like it came from one of the Nubian pharaohs.
We can't
But
leave a black
the head is way too small, though.
right?
It was obviously carved down from something much larger at one time.
Well,
Also natural sort of erosion as well.
but it's not only.
Never.
It's not only the fact that okay, why do you think? And I'm going to answer my own question here, but I'll still pose it to you guys. We have these gigantic ancient monuments, these world wonders, and me personally, I think it's just to be remembered after a certain age, because the world does keep recycling itself. These ice ages and whatnot. Our polar position keeps switching every so often. Okay, the polar caps will be in one direction at so many thousand years, and then it flips, and there's a catastrophe that wipes out life on the surface. And so each time there's a new iteration of life that comes through, which I believe helped us evolve. And so, but we have to have these monoliths to last and maybe help mark the time and warn us, perhaps.
Could be. I think that ancient peoples were very aware of the march of time, and I think they would naturally want to build something that was forever. And that could very well have been they were thinking about catastrophes, but I think there was just a general feeling of they were building for the ages. And when you were a god king, you want 50-foot thick walls. It's like, why wouldn't you have them? I'm a big guy, I need a big temple. But I think that could be a factor. But I think there's also just a general feeling that they wanted to build something that was forever. They never saw, the Egyptian society, we're talking about the Egyptians, was very stable over many, many, many millennia. And, stability means big, solid things. Why wouldn't you build it? So what if it takes 20 years? What else you got to do?
Well, and for the simple fact that the life expectancy of a person was so short back then, especially for the royalty, because they kept inbreeding. So I guess those kind of...
You don't want to let a good thing out of the family, though, So
yeah.
Keep all that wealth and power concentrated.
Well, it's there was a guy, he was actually first historian, and it was back in the ancient days. His name was Sanachunathan. And Eusebius, who wrote what was it, something against the pagans or something like that. He was in the first he was in the first church, but he wrote about it, and he used Eusebius's words, and what Eusebius said I agree with. He said that, and I notice a lot of people don't really realize this either, but a lot of these supposed gods that everybody believed existed were actually men that were eventually deified. If you listen to what
Oh yeah.
I can tell you Norse mythology, where like Balder and Thor were traced back to real people.
Well,
yeah,
that
was Snorri's Edda. Yeah, he tried to for the Norse, the pagan gods were a very important part of their poetry, and they weren't pagans anymore, but they wanted to hang on to the poetry. So I think Snorri was trying to make the god stories more acceptable, And at the same time, he usually traced back his royal patrons' lineages to the ancient Greeks and Romans and stuff like that. They loved making those kinds of genealogies. Oh, you're descended from Julius Caesar. Of course, you have the right to kill all your fellow kings. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, look at Toth too. Okay, now a lot of people think that Toth came from Egypt first, but if you read the text, you'll find out that he actually came from Phoenicia and traveled to Egypt, where he taught the Egyptians how to read and write and math. Now, according to Eusebius, he was the one who brought that to him, and he was a human who was deified into a god. So I thought that was kind of cool. And you don't hear about that unless you actually do the research, because you have to pay for college,
Right.
And most people, when they pay for college, they don't like to go in and learn about ancient history, which I think that should be mandatory.
You can take. You've got local libraries. Haven't you got the internet?
Well, people don't like ancient history. The only people that like ancient history is cool people like me, dude.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people who freaking like ancient history, like, actually think nothing but ancient history. And I
don't know. I can remember going down to my local library at the age of 11, 12.
Whatever. I don't believe a word of that. Whatever.
You'd be.
They have libraries in England.
Well, he lives, dude, I've already said this. He lives maybe 10 to 15 minutes away from in any direction. He can go 10 to 15 minutes to any monolith. Okay.
Actually, I was just checking. Between here and Stonehenge is only about 85, 90 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He could
no one have travel.
he could go like just a step away from where he's at, and he's going to like some of the greatest freaking spots in antiquity, and
He could be an ancient order of druids guy.
he could, and he doesn't do it. I
And
would.
Fun enough, just next door, I've got Freemasons church.
See, dude,
Yeah, so, yeah.
you know what I mean? I would go in there butt naked and just.
I just saw
It's funny. I always find it funny because I think once every month you would just see all these old people wearing black suits just marching out of there. Yeah.
aprons and stuff. Now, I just saw a thing where the London Metropolitan Police now have to they have to declare their Masonic membership if they're Freemasons, and the Masons are like raising holy heck over it. I just read that not long ago.
Yeah.
Anything about that one.
England's getting crazy because now
Oh, that's so awesome. Oh,
England's getting real crazy about that stuff now because like
well,
they.
you shouldn't be in government if you're in a secret society. If you,
Well,
as
what
a
happens when your
politician,
government is based on the secret society?
Yeah, exactly. Shit, dude.
no,
Like you're living in a
modernize
country
and
that was
revolve
formed by the
and try to get away from
Freemasons.
corruption. But the single fact that, yeah, you cannot be a part of a secret society and join government, because then it's obvious at that point that you're going to be an agent of your secret society influencing the government. The government doesn't want to be controlled by anything else. It wants to be in control.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
We all hate government here,
It's
so
an
why wouldn't we
argument
want
to say that governments are not in control. It's a civil service, that's all.
Well, the
It's
thing
an
is,
argument.
if we're all anti-government, then we should welcome the control of the government, right? It's just that it's not us doing the control. That's the problem.
So, I mean, if there's a majority of the government that's not already underneath the influence of a secret society, then sure.
It's hard to say, but I firmly believe that a lot of the American government evolved directly from Masonic Lodge structure and was run by Freemasons for a long time,
Right.
up until the anti-Masonic party, took over when that guy out in Batavia, New York, revealed all the Masonic secrets or something, and then suddenly got disappeared.
Yeah. I've seen all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the secrets revealed, all the secret handshakes, all the rituals. Yeah, they're not happy about that.
I mean, I'm just thinking of UK politicians. The argument that certain UK politicians are part of the Fabian Society. Yeah, for
After
the
that
majority of
horrible
people, the Fabian
incident we
Society.
had with
Who are they?
Hornby.
Yeah, we know who they are. We
Oh,
know
yeah.
well who they are. Yeah.
To be fair, I'm sure that if you could get Wells and Shaw here to look at Great Britain today, I don't think they would be happy with the fruits of their labor. But I don't know.
Maybe. Hmm.
And now we got a lull.
Okay.
All right. So, well, we shouldn't. Let's steer us back to science. You guys are doing too much for a Red Bull hardcore show, and that's my thing. So let's go back on the science. Can't we?
It's a new year, so it should be the. We were talking about science for the new year, and
Yeah.
I'll hope that science might move us toward.
And you're all talking about dark energy weapons, which again you just scared the hell out of me. I hope you're being sarcastic.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with a directed electromagnetic pulse device. It's simply, that doesn't actually harm people. But
No, it's the person behind the device. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
that's right.
Yeah.
I knew a guy that made arguments. I might have mentioned it before. Erwin Strauss wrote a book about basement nukes, he was a libertarian that took arguments to their extreme, and he advocated for basically people having their own thermonuclear devices at home, which I'm not sure. I believe it was a parody. But
I,
you always
I,
have
I
a
think
parody.
it may have been some sort of insight into like our Constitution, which in our Second Amendment, it's not about hunting, it's not about guns, it's about having equivalent weaponry to that of our government. In case the government turns corrupt, we can respond in kind to any attacks that they may do on the public. Now, we're so far beyond that. They want to take our guns while they have jets, got tanks,
Even
nuclear
so,
bombs.
even so, though, it's on a day-to-day, person-to-person basis. An armed citizenry does provide a speed bump, and the other aspect has to do with something I think really overlooked a lot of the time in when people discuss the American system, is that rights such as the right to keep and bear arms, or the right to freedom of religious conscience, are seen not as granted by the government, but as pre-existing and intrinsic to you. They're inherent and unalienable. That is to say, they can never be removed from you. A government can protect these rights, it can violate these rights, but the rights themselves exist ab initio. I'd love to throw a little Latin in there once in a while, from the very first moment. So you have a right to keep and bear arms. Now, that being said, and this gets me in trouble with some people, I can also understand why the community might not want everyone to have access to all weapons. And so where I live, we have a system which, in theory, is a system whereby the community voice is heard in order to strike a balance, so that you can possess, at least the last I checked the law, you can possess long guns, as they call them. Basically a gun that if you took it out of your house, everybody would know you were carrying a gun around. And these are, we find, the very least used in any kind of violent crime. But for any concealable weapon like a handgun, you have to go before an elected judge who's been elected by the community, and you need to have like somebody who's a good citizen in good standing, basically vouching for you, having some references. And you don't have to say, I want it for this, that, or the other. You just say, I want a gun. You have a right to have a gun. And he says, well, there's nothing here that shows that, you haven't been in and out of the psychiatric ward. And especially now that they basically closed down all the mental asylums. And I use that word in its best sense, a place for someone to go, an asylum, a place for them to get out of the world. You have more people that are increasingly mentally unstable walking around. So I think you need but the recognition is that you have a right to defend yourself. It's intrinsic to you. And this goes back to, at that time, free men in Europe wore a sword or dagger at their side at all times. They might never use it, but it was a way of saying, I will defend my integrity up to and including the use of deadly force if pushed to that. And that's an important right.
I get what you're saying. Now let me throw a curveball at you. I know the fundamental, and people will listen to the show, I'm pretty sure, too, also, those fundamental rights and understand the purpose of it. But the fact that it's being stripped from us. Now, people want to talk about gun rights. Let's talk fist rights. Today in America, if someone attacks you with their fists, with their feet, their knees, their elbows, and you throw one of those back at the person who's attacking you, you are complicit in the crime, and you also get arrested if police are called. If you defend yourself. There's no such thing as self-defense anymore.
Publicity.
In that situation, I would say it looks like
there is a
the
difference.
fact that-
Remember, there's a difference between arrest and conviction.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. If you've thrown a punch, then I can see where you would be taken into custody, but then hopefully it would be sorted out while I was defending myself, and you would be released without a stain on your character. Whereas the person who instigated the fight, and then of course that's up to a judge. But the idea is to stop what's going on immediately, and then get everyone calmed down.
Hold up, we got Miss Sexy here with us. Hold
Hello.
on. It's time.
There's
It's
she
sexy.
is.
Talk
We were
dirty,
just
girl.
fighting over you at the beginning.
Hello.
I'm gonna
You were
put.
fighting over me.
Fighting
Oh
over
my
you.
god, I'm lying. One.
I'm gonna pin you to the thing so that we can look at your sexiness.
I was like, no, Sonya's mine. No.
Oh my god, you guys. One. You guys are crazy.
Sorry, Otto. But I get your point. But typically, especially if you're a juvenile, nobody's gonna listen to what you're saying. You're just guilty and you're gonna go to jail, or juvie jail, or probation, or whatever it is.
Juvie jail. The hell, dude? It's juvie's juvie. It's not just like juvie jail and shit. Like that's.
I've been there. I've been to the
You
scenario.
don't call it
doesn't
juvie
matter
jail.
If you saved your own life, you are going to be convicted
Yeah.
as a criminal.
I'm reminded of something that Peter Lorre said in a wonderful movie. I advise everyone here to watch it. It's called Beat the Devil, and it was the Walter Houston movie. Has Gina Lollobrigida in it, as well as Humphrey Bogart. But there's a wonderful scene with Peter Lorre, and he's talking about being virtuous. I forget the exact words, but it was basically to seem to be virtuous is not less important than being virtuous. For without the semblance of it, then one might as well not be virtuous at all.
White coat staring at a blank page. Shots are clean, but he's in a race and relax. There's nothing wrong. He says you've been asleep too long. No test, no name, no warning sign, but I can hear it grind in time. I found the cure for nothing at all. Fix the crack you couldn't call. No symptoms, no disease to find. Just a world that wasn't right. I found the cure. You missed the clue. You never checked what broke in you. Awards for problems neatly framed. Finding flows if it's already named. He worked alone, no form, no fee. Cure the ghost in the machinery. I found the cure for nothing at all. Pull the knife out of the wall. No chart, no box, no warning bell. Just fix the quiet living hell. You can't diagnose a lie, but you can stop it when it spreads. I found the cure for nothing at all. You never knew you had the fall. Laugh it off. Keep it clean. I cured the gap between the seas. I found the cure for nothing at all. You never knew you had the fall. Laugh it off. Keep it clean. I cured the gap between the seams. You never checked what broke in you.
That's not. I don't say that that's a really good way to live your whole life. But when it comes to interactions with the authorities, sometimes and usually it is more important to appear virtuous than to necessarily be virtuous, and that's a skill that these terrible interactions we sometimes have taught us
Right.
over the years. I'm reminded of the last time I was arrested, which was at Rich Stadium after a Bills game. And I was with somebody, and the sheriffs, we were cutting through a parking lot, and the sheriffs pulled up and said, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm just cutting through the parking lot," and they're fine. The other guy starts screaming at the cops, "You have no right to do this. You had you bastards, da, 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 da." I didn't realize that he had, like, to be full disclosure, his dad was like a colonel in the state police, and he had like daddy issues. I didn't know this at the time. So he reacted badly. And they searched us. We had things in our pockets at that time. We're not
I got
legal,
another
where
story.
they are now. And one guy patting me down, he quote unquote didn't find anything. So his partner, who was not happy with this kid, who was still cussing him out, found something, and he turns and looks at him. "Are you going to search him properly or not?" And the guy just and he took a small part of what I had with me and took it out. Later on, they were very nice, and I spoke harshly to this guy that I was arrested with. He was still yelling in the car, and I'm like, "Shut up!" I said, "You've gotten us in enough trouble." I said, "Right now the lawyers have to talk. Okay, it's too late. These guys can't do anything now. They've arrested us and they've radioed it in. Okay, now just shut up." And he shut right up. And afterward, they were running our licenses. And the one guy, they did all that stuff. They let us go, and one cop walked me out and shook my hand. He said, "I'm really sorry that had to happen. I think it should be legal. I'm really sorry that, he apologized to me." And I shook his hand. I said, "Man, I understand completely. It's not you. It's, we parted on this line."
Man, it must be.
That
really
was the
nice
two
to
different
get-
ways of approaching the police. And I prefer mine personally.
It must really be nice to be white.
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on. Just before we got Sonya in here. Now the
With being
cool
white,
thing.
it's okay to be white, man. It's okay to be white.
The cool thing about
I
the cool
don't even
thing. Hey,
think about my race.
Sonya just made it into Texas, so she
Texas.
she has her traveling story. So you want to say your traveling story
Back
to
from
us?
Texas?
No,
Or you
she-
bring us back to Texas?
My traveling story was treacherous for sure. And I'm in Temple right now with Mark, Mr. Mark here. I'm sure
Hey,
you
nice
guys
pipe.
hired him. Yeah, right?
You guys took
What's he
So-
smoking?
She's trying her best to make us jealous.
she.
Sir.
See, Roger, you see what she's doing to us?
Well, I know what she's doing. She's getting it on, dude. Freaking her and Mark. Those two are like freaking.
Thank you guys.
They're like wild animals right now. You know, she didn't travel all the way to Texas to freaking get good tattoo jobs. She wanted the job, all right.
Is that where the tattoos are? I
She
have
wants
no
a different kind of ink pen.
Good job, Roger. Get it right.
Dirty little animals.
Yeah.
You dirty little monsters.
Filthy, not dirty.
Filthy, that's right. Oh, dude, you are so cool. I swear to God, you say all the right words. You say all the right
You know
words.
what? Sonya calls me a rock star.
Hey,
baby.
he's all laying back and shit. You know what I mean? Her hair's all freaking all whacked out of shape and
You're-
everything.
He's more competition for you. She likes the bald white guys.
Well,
He,
everybody likes the bald black guys, dude. You said black guys, right?
I said
No.
white guys.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I am not bald, sir, as you know.
oh. Well, I mean, most blonde chicks love freaking black dudes.
Yeah, I prefer my black guys with an afro. I'm just saying, gotta keep it real.
That's right.
You
Now,
know?
I'm sorry, I got dreads all the way to my ass.
Oh, dreads, there you go. It's even better, baby. It's even better. Right.
I'm glad you guys showed up because this is going to be the first episode for that idea I came up with, headline after midnight. This is where we're going to put all of these horrible, disgusting freaking video clips. We're going to call it the VD hour.
There we go.
Wait, but before we do that, I must interject. Otto, put the camera back on.
Let me give
Otto,
that thing first.
Otto,
Oh, we're,
Showing off my pipe.
this isn't
Otto,
the VD hour, so don't worry about it.
Otto, you're secretly, I knew it. You're Santa Claus, and you're secretly spying on me.
Yes, Santa.
You have been judging. This is why you are all knowledgeable. This is why you're you know everything about everything. You are watching all of us, aren't you?
He's got cool hair, dude.
That's what
I see
Santa-
you when you're sleeping. I know when you're awake. I know if you've been bad.
I'm the reincarnation of Yul Brenner.
Before or after, shit.
Better sue his estate right away. He would have some of that residual money.
He said the reincarnation of Yul Brenner.
I don't
That
know
is so
that.
freaking
Nice.
deep.
Daddy Warbucks from Nanny.
All right, I'm sorry, Roger. I won't derail the show anymore. I just had to point that out.
No, you're sticking around. Don't be playing that shit. Freaking, we got good content with you coming in, man. Cause like I've edited that stuff out, and all I gotta do is make it to where it's smooth, where it goes from one conversation to the other. And other than that, it sounds great. So it's just we can't be doing it on Quantum Gathering, okay? there's
We're supposed to be talking about quantum subjects, yes.
right. But,
Yeah.
You know.
I try my best to stay on topic.
yeah, you do.
Like- Ooh, we could talk
Sometimes
about the
this-
probability collapses. Yes, I'm convinced that the
Sugar.
reason why people only have like experiences with like Sasquatch and things when they don't have cameras with them is because that would make it too improbable to happen.
No, that's because they didn't have the rape whistle with them at the time.
Yeah.
That's true.
And you need to have, if you go cryptid hunting for Bigfoot or Dogman, you need to have a Hertz flea collar that's one's blue and the other one's pink. That's for him and her, all right? So you know, be careful then. And a rape whistle
Oh my gosh.
in case the pack decides to take advantage of
What if you don't? What if you don't want to be raped? Do you have a non-rape whistle? Like that?
Make sure you have GPS.
That's a question.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Well, so what the thing about
That's
Sasquatch
what the
is,
salt pepper spray is for.
the thing about Sasquatch, if it wants to rape you, just let it have its way with you. Maybe it'll take you back to his cave, and then you can always find him again.
Well,
But,
I
you know,
wouldn't go that
I
far.
feel the same way about demons, because if one wants to possess you, you could be famous, you let it possess you, and come in, but you tell, you have to go to like studios and things like that and say, look, I'm possessed, and let it speak through you and that, and you need someone to document this, and you can, even if the demon kills you, you'll be famous later. All right?
Because it's Sasquatch. You'd be saying stuff like all the time. I'm channeling Sasquatch now. You're gonna go,
Okay, so
Great conversation.
Now, I don't trust those scaly reptilian bastards, but no, that sounds kind of rough.
now let me fill you guys in on this. Like concerning quantum gathering, Mark has been talking to me. We haven't done it yet, but he wants to do a story script on Juan Valdez with two blades. Okay, so
ooh, nice. The guy with the coffee guy, right?
yeah, the coffee guy, and he has
From
like
the book of
Not for the oil tanker.
from the Book of Folgers, Chapter 4, Section 1, Verse 3 of the Book of the chapter of Folgers. All right? It came from the Book of Maxwell House originally. All right, but this is the new international version that I have to go with now.
Ah,
see it
I
gets
prefer King James, but
yeah, it's he's really obsessed with that.
Because one didn't come down from the mountain before that.
One didn't come down from the mountain. Now,
Let's get some of your tobacco.
Yeah.
what about the donkey though? Willie says that he's willing to play the voice of the donkey.
The donkey for the show, huh?
Well,
Yeah,
Juan
well,
Valdez.
I kind of figured this is going to be kind of like Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy. So I don't know if I can get Mike Myers stuff down right, but it's something different. There'll be a Polish guy with talking about Hispanic stuff.
Oh, whoa! You said Polish. This is cool because this brings up something V was talking about. He wants to freaking do a what do they talk? Where you go around a circuit where he goes around from one Polish city to another, so that freaking they can enjoy the pleasure of meeting a black man.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's lucky, he might get on the hockey team. If he's lucky, I don't know how you are in skates.
Wait, time out. This is not interesting. Let's go back to the donkey show. All right, you guys were talking about the donkey show. Who's going to Mexico for that?
I don't think that's the donkey show we were talking about.
Yeah,
Oh, is that not what we were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a different
okay.
kind of. I haven't read the script, but I'm quite sure, knowing Roger and Mark as I do, that
Yeah.
It's not what you're thinking. I don't think anything that anyone else thinks is what you're thinking. Actually,
Right. That's definitely true. Like
I'm sorry, I'm from Texas.
he-
So
he
the
heard
donkey
the
show
word
is a
donkey.
thing.
He heard the word donkey.
I think probably going to go here for the longest time.
And see, Sonia, this is what you get. You decided to go to Texas.
Brother stepped out. I think she's checking on Victoria, my daughter,
Oh,
for me.
cool.
And she just said her phone right here, and now you got me. All right, I'm captured. Doing my next stream too, by the way. I'm doing a music stream tonight, so I was doing all sorts of like punk rock earlier. Now I switched it over to just classic